Samantha, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. We got another episode here, Hidden Threads podcast. So we were coming in our little studio here, our little house.
Yeah. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
You guys can't see this place, but whenever I say it's Pinterest worthy, it is, it looks like something out of Pinterest. And the pumpkins and the little ghost and everything are just perfect. I just love everything about this place.
My wife calls them ghosties.
Yeah.
Like their baby ghost or something.
Yeah. And I make fun of Mackie, tell him he decorated this place because it's so perfect.
I did.
Yeah.
No.
And he's drinking his mint tea.
Mint tea.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it. Trying to cut back on the caffeine. Yeah. And the mint tea doesn't have caffeine, but has flavor. So I don't know. Better than just drinking water to me. So
no, for sure.
But so we got a good one today. And we're going to get down the rabbit hole of Alabama Department of Human Resources. It may be called something else in your state.
Yeah. I need some caffeine.
CPS, Child Protective Services. That's what we call it here. In Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee are all very similar when it comes to DHR. All right. Got some facts here. I got some questions. Who gets more rights, the mom or the dad? What do you think?
I think the mom does.
Typically in Alabama, they do. Fathers in Alabama receive on average 33.7, we can just say 34% of custody time, which ranks them 21st in the country. Okay. Not bad, I don't think.
No.
Now, we've had cases where we've proved that the mother is a drunk, on meth, you name it, abandons the children, everything, and she still gets full custody. You ever seen that before?
Yeah. No, I have seen that before.
I'm not sure why that is. You know, the dad, he's just a normal guy, not hooked on anything. And then they end up giving the custody to the mother.
Right.
I've been in court with these before and watched them. I think sometimes it's just what mood the judge is in that day. You ever seen that before?
For sure.
I'm like, this is crazy. Now, you brought up something earlier about Nancy Schaefer. Tell me a little bit about her.
Okay. So, first of all, let me backtrack. I think it's okay. CPS is throughout the country, right? And then each state has their department that CPS runs through. Like DHS is Mississippi. It's DHR here. I'm not sure. Is it DHS, DHR, DH something in Tennessee?
Tennessee, they call it CPS still, I believe.
Okay, they just call it CPS.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan. And I'm just of course, they have their place and that, they serve a purpose and that there's some things. I'm not saying that they screw everything up, but I've witnessed a lot personally.
Right. Well, you're a paralegal and your PI work too. So
that I personally would not contact DHR, CPS, whatever you call it in your state, unless it were life or death, literally.
Right.
But so Nancy Schaefer was a lady she was a lawmaker. I think she was a Republican lawmaker from Georgia. And she was creating a documentary about the corruption in CPS. And then right before she was going to release it, it was a murder-suicide of her and her husband in their bed. But their children said there's no way they would have, killed themselves or one would kill the other. Like, that just wouldn't have happened. So you'd think that the guy that was making the documentary would have gone ahead and released it, but he didn't. He just kind of went missing and refused to release it. And so there's something really sketchy about that. But I think the premise was, and I don't want to get this wrong, but it was, I want to say it maybe was in the Clinton administration, that they incentivize social workers. So there's like, if you remove a child from a home and they're in the system, you want them to have a forever home, right? Like you don't want them to be in the system. You want them to become adopted. So if a social worker can have a child permanently adopted, then there's some sort of like financial incentive with that.
They get more funding from the government or something?
Yeah. Or maybe the social worker gets like a bonus, or like they like individually or financially incentivized for that, for being able to place that child. And on the surface, that sounds great, right? Like it incentivizes them to find these kids forever homes. But then what they found shifted after that is you have to have a product that you can sell. And so healthy infants were, taken out of the home more often than other children, because why would you remove a child, and especially like say a child of color who has a disability, you're never going to get them adopted.
Right.
Or the chances are a lot less of them
they get
getting
adopted less often.
Yes. So there's not as much incentive to remove them, even if it's a bad situation.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the children, it kind of became like legal trafficking. And that's what she was highlighting in this documentary. And then it blew up and it never came out.
Yeah, okay. Well, they found her in 2010, dead in her home. It looks like her husband killed her and killed him. That's what it looks like. You think it's everybody, Samantha's a conspiracy theorist.
I am a conspiracy theorist.
And I love it. So
I'm still not sure about the Titanic. We'll get in that another day.
you think this was a setup?
Oh, for sure.
She was bad mouthing the money train, I guess you'd call it.
Because this guy that was making the documentary was all in with her, and he'd basically finished it. Why wouldn't you go ahead and release it? Right.
I mean, it seemed like it would have been a lot of views there too. Yeah. So I'm not sure. Here's my take. So we have to serve DHR sometimes. So say there's a custody battle going on, and the lawyer wants to get the DHR social worker that went into the home and did the inspection or interviews or all that, whatever you name it. And we have to go serve them at the DHR facility, whether it be Madison County, Jefferson County, Blount County, wherever. It doesn't matter. And they refuse service. I'm like, why are you refusing service? You're doing this. This is a service that you're supposed to be providing to a child by going and testifying, and you're not going to go do it.
Right.
You know? And we've complained a lot about it, and it's getting better. So you can substitute serve them to their boss and those kind of things, and they make them go. But it was ridiculous there a few years back. They were like, I'm just not going to testify.
Right.
Like,
well, I know as counselors, like, we will do anything to get out of testifying in court. But that's because, say that you are a child of divorce. You come to me for counseling. You pour your heart out. You're vulnerable. You tell me how you feel. And then your parents who are fighting with each other, they come into your safe place where you're supposed to do your healing. You have to trust to be able to do that healing. And then they're like, we want to know everything he's telling you. Like, you're never going to talk in therapy again.
Is there privilege there?
Well,
not with child, right?
Yes and no. But yeah, even as an adult, I mean, you can be subpoenaed.
So if I come to you as an adult to get mental health counseling, you can go testify about it. It's not like a lawyer.
Well, we would do everything we could to not. But there are certain rare instances where you can be forced to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not protected like attorney-client privilege, right? Which can never be broken.
Well, yeah. Well, no, there are instances that attorney-client can be broken too. Like, say, like bar complaints, things like that. They can say things. But I mean, it's so rare. But you want to err on the side of caution either way. But yeah, I'd imagine that could be one reason that they want to, to protect the confidentiality, because it puts them in a bind.
Right.
But also, and I don't want to dissuade anybody. If you think a child or, a person who's an elderly person, someone that's vulnerable, is being abused, hurt, whatever, then obviously let somebody know. So one thing that does, so say there's child abuse or something like that, it puts it on record, right? Hey, we reported this. Typically, you call the police first, and then they are the ones that involve the social workers from DHR. Now, I've seen excellent DHR workers that did due diligence, very good interviewers, did not came in with an open mind, listened to both sides of the story, all those things. And then you see some that really don't do anything. You ever seen those? Oh, yeah. They just come in and their report's terrible. They don't care. Yeah. But they're drawing a decent check over at the county or wherever, the state, wherever they're getting paid from. Or they come over and they say, like, we're here to do an investigation. You have to let us in or we're going to take your kid. But they don't have a warrant. They have so much immunity and they will lie to people. I mean, you can look this up on YouTube. There's videos on videos of, if they don't have a warrant, then they can't talk to you or they can't talk to your children. They can't come to the house, make them get a warrant. Like, so does DHR, can they just come in and get them, or does it has to be a judge's order? Yeah, they have to have a judge's order, but they'll tell parents
Everybody, Mackie here with ShadowNet Investigations. I'm the lead investigator, and I'm here to let you know that we conduct premium digital forensics. Whether you're looking to recover deleted data from phones, tablets, computers, you name it, give us a call, and we can help you out in recovering that data. Or if you think you're hacked, we have the tools and expertise to help you figure out who's hacked you and to find out how it happened, whether you need help with any digital forensic situation, recovering deleted data, hacking situations, or any questions you have about digital forensics. Give us a call, 866-910-7499. That's a free consultation at 866-910-7499, or visit us at shadownetdigital.com.
Well, if you don't let us right now, then we're going to take your kid out of the home.
Is that because they're too lazy to get a warrant?
I guess, or they think that they can't get one.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So parents will cave and say, oh, well, we don't want that. But technically, they're not supposed to do that.
And they just don't know the rules.
The parents don't know the rules. Yeah.
That's kind of like when anybody gets arrested and they just start yakking,
Yes.
They don't know the rules.
Like if a police officer said, well, we're going to take you to jail if you don't let me search your car. We'll get a warrant. Okay. Yeah. And people panic and then they let them do it. And then it just opens this whole can of worms. And then they'll make you sound like a safety plan. And it's just this whole thing. And these people, a lot of times, these DHR workers, like you said, that there's some that are just amazing and totally underpaid and overworked. But a lot of these are right out of college. These are 21, 22-year-olds that have never had children.
And they never had life experience.
There's no life experience. And they have just an incredible amount of power. And that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. We've never had that issue in our family, but I could imagine. Now, when people are getting divorced, we deal with this. Say a married couple gets divorced and they have a guardian ad litem. That represents the children, right?
Right.
Is that an extension of DHR?
No.
It's different?
Yeah.
That's like a judge saying, hey, go represent these kids and tell me what's going on. Right?
No, that would just be like an attorney. Typically, like that's how it is in Mississippi. And I think in Alabama, it's just like an attorney that's appointed by the court to represent your children. So they have their own attorney.
Right. I've seen where we call them a GAL here in Alabama, but I've seen where they have filed it up too. Where there was obvious abuse and the GAL didn't even interview the kids or interview anybody.
Well, these are attorneys. They're not counselors. And I've said that forever, that guardian ad litems need to have some sort of training in psychology. They need to have some sort of training in social work and family dynamics and abuse. And these attorneys, they don't have any training whatsoever in this.
They know the law. That's their thing, right?
Yeah, they just know the law, but they don't know, mental health. They don't know the signs of abuse. They don't know these things. So there was a guardian ad litem whenever I lived in Mississippi. He was this man who'd never been married, never had kids, and was just he was like a 60-year-old bachelor. And he just decided what was best for these children. And that was wild to me.
Right. Well, the judge has an ultimate say, but they're going to go off what they're saying, right?
Yeah, I feel like 99% of the time.
They get their notes and they go off of that. So it's crazy. I've seen guardian ad litems that are very interested and involved, and they're like, hey, we want the best interest, but for the parents and the kid. There's not even abuse going on. They're just doing equitable, they're getting like custody distributions here. I hate to say distribution like they're an object, but they're getting custody rights and those things sorted out. Then you have some that they get paid because they're getting paid by the state. All right. And they just get their check and they never do anything. I'm not sure what they do. So, I don't know. I wish we could get a streamlined, more of a standard for both DHR and the guardian ad litem system where it looks the same every time something comes up.
Absolutely. And have mental health involved in that in some way, like have where, these kids have counselors that they can talk to, somebody. So you're getting a clear picture of what's actually going on because there's no way to really know.
Right.
But we need to do one day on parental alienation.
Parental alienation.
Because that's something we deal with a lot, I feel like.
We do. We can talk about it a little bit here if you want.
Yeah.
So I'm part of a Facebook group called Fathers for Fair Custody, and it's about parental alienation, where for either legally or illegally, one parent says, hey, I'm not going to let you see the kids anymore. You ever seen that happen?
Yeah.
All right. And then the other parent has to go spend money, get a lawyer, go through the process to get parental rights when it's already on the paper, on the agreement. And the courts don't hold that one parent accountable and said, hey, you got to make them You got to let them see their kids.
Right.
And the courts are just like, we got bigger stuff to do.
Yeah.
And this other parent has to go file all this stuff to raise a stink about it to make it happen. What do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I think that happens a lot. And I think a lot of times parental alienation is covert. It's sneaky. It doesn't look like, hey, your dad's a bad guy or your mom's, a terrible person. It's, the kids go to, say, dad's house and then they come home and, mom may shut down or, we had a good time at dad's. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And they see that reaction from mom as, oh, it's not okay that I talk about having a good time at dad's. So that must be a sore subject. Mm-hmm. So it can be just as small as that, where they learn through, small interactions that going to dad's is not a good thing. So it's not always just direct as your dad's a POS. You know what I mean? That's not typically how it works. Because if it were that overt, then it would be easier to nail down.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And that's why it's hard, I think, for courts to recognize it. And then in cases of parental alienation, if you have a child that goes to a therapist and they say, hey, I don't want to go to my dad's because I think he's a bad guy, it doesn't matter if their reasons are justified or not. If the child is afraid of the father, a therapist is never going to recommend that they go there.
Right.
Even if he's a great guy.
Can it be coached to that by one parent? Coaches?
Yes. And that's how they usually do it, is typically by those little micro interactions. It's typically not, an overt, your dad's a bad guy, you should be afraid of him.
How do you detect coaching as a counselor?
Kids will be terrified of a parent, but they can't give you specifics on why, or they say that they were abused, and you ask about the abuse, and they don't know. Memories have been planted there. There's confusion. There's a lot of anger towards parents. Because here's the thing, kids who are abused, I mean, you've seen like kids that have been seriously abused. Mm-hmm. They love their parents.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for a child to hate a parent. So for a kid to truly, really feel that much anger and resistance towards a parent, it's almost never coming from the child themselves. It's coming from somebody else.
So in that instance, I think it was Oklahoma, where a girl was locked in a chain to a bed, and they found her when she was like 20. Still loved her mama. Said she loved her mama.
Exactly.
And she was treated awful. Like
exactly.
She was undersized because she didn't eat and stuff. Didn't have food.
Right.
But she said she still loved her. Her mom's in prison now, but they said she still loved her and all that. She goes and visits her. So
exactly. Yeah. I mean, children are hardwired. That is the person that keeps you alive. They keep you safe. Mm-hmm. So for you to go against your biological instincts on that, especially that young of an age, when you're older, it's a little different, Yeah. But whenever you're that young, if a child has that much hate towards a parent, I almost always think, first off, that it's coming from the other parent.
Right. All right. That's a good talk.
Okay.
Samantha, you think it was?
I think so.
I was just sitting here listening on that one.
Yeah. So, sorry.
Right.
DHR I have feelings.
We'll do another one on that. How about that?
Okay.
We can bring out some specific cases next time and talk about it. And then this is kind of a generalized one. But all right. That's all we got for this one. But we'll be back in just a bit.
Okay.